Good morning, students. Welcome back to Medical Buddy online classes. This is Parmagalla Narsimulu, your math teacher at medicalbuddy.com. In the first part of the elements of geometry, we have discussed the introduction and the history of the geometry. Now we will discuss the definitions, axioms and postulates by Euclid in this part 2. Before going to discuss about these topics, let us see the book, The Elements. Students, you can see the book Elements in the adjacent side. It has 13 books. Book 1 consists of these topics. They are triangles, parallels and area. Book 2 geometric algebra. Book 3 circles. Book 4 construction for inscribed and circumscribed figures. Book 5 theory of proportions. Book 6 similar figures and proportions. Book 7 fundamentals of number theory. Book 8 continued proportions in number theory. Book 9 number theory. Book 10 classification of incommensurables. Book 11 solid geometry. Book 12 measurement of figures. Book 13 regular solids. These are the books in the elements. Let us see the fundamental terms of geometry. It's very important in this chapter. These are the basic elements of the geometry. Let us see that in detail. You can see the elements book in the left side picture. Euclid thought geometry as an abstract model of the world in which they lived. A solid has shape, size, position and can be moved from one place to another. Its boundaries are called surfaces. The boundaries of the surfaces are curves or straight lines. These lines end in points. Consider the steps from solids to points as solids, surfaces, lines and points. Let us observe the following figure. You can see what is the figure 1? It is solid figure. It is cuboid. Cuboid has 3 dimensions. They are length, breadth and height. If it loses one dimension, that is height, it will have only 2 dimensions, which means it will become a rectangle. You know that rectangle has 2 dimensions, length and breadth. If it further loses one more dimension, that is breadth, it will have only 1 dimension. It means it becomes a line segment or line. If it again loses this dimension, this single dimension, it will become no dimensions. It will have no dimensions. It means which becomes point. So first figure is 3D picture. After loses one dimension, it will become 2D picture. After loses one more dimension, it will become one dimension. After loses this dimension, it will have no dimensions, means it becomes point. It has no dimensions. These are called as fundamental terms of geometry. What are the fundamental terms of geometry? Surface or curves, then lines, then points. These three are fundamental terms of geometry. With the use of these terms or these elements, we will define another terms like line segment, angle, triangle, etc. Students, let us see the definitions given by Euclid. Euclid defined point, line and plane in book 1 of his elements. Euclid listed 23 definitions. Some of them are given here. The first one, the definition of point. According to Euclid, a point is that which has no part. It means point has no dimensions. The ends of a line are points. You can see the figure also. Now let us see the definition of line given by Euclid. A line is a breadthless length. It means it has only length. It has no breadth. A straight line is a line which lies evenly with the points on itself. You can see the figure also, which is in the dots form. The edges of surface are lines. For this you can see the figure. The edges are in the blue lines. Let us see the definition of surface given by Euclid. A surface is that which has length and breadth only. You can observe it in the figure. Surface is only, it has length and breadth. A plane surface is a surface which lies evenly with the straight lines on itself. So it means a plane surface has infinity number of lines in a systematic way, in systematic order. Let us see the next topic, that is undefined and defined terms. The mathematicians have divided the terms into two types. Number 1, undefined terms. Number 2, defined terms. In undefined terms, point, line, plane are there. It will be explained with the help of objects only, or physical models. With the help of these undefined terms, we can define defined terms. For example, line segment, angle, triangle, etc. These are the defined terms.